Coach, we'll start with an opening statement from you, and then we'll open it up to questions for the student athletes.
Congratulate Arizona, on a great year. I know it hurts, and it's tough on them, but, really one bad inning for them. They deserve to be here. They played their tail off in the postseason, went on the road, tough on the road, and played really good here. These games, you could tell, man, they're one inning, sometimes one pitch, one out type game. So, but I do want to congratulate them because it was a great run. We saw them early in the year and knew they got off to a slow start, but man, they got it going. This is a fun spot to be in, especially on Father's Day. I got to play here. I got to coach here on Father's Day in 07, first time. And a lot of those 07 guys were sending me text messages today because we won that day. So it's just special. Just a lot of good memories, great memories of my dad and supporting me around the game. And that's what I've tried to pour into these guys. Just enjoy it and realize what your parents do to get you to this spot and how much fun they're having. They're having a lot of stress too, but man, they're having a lot of fun. So really happy to be in this spot and celebrating these guys.
We'll open it up to questions for the student athletes.
Alexis Cuba, Louisville Courier-Journal. Kamayu, yesterday, 2 days ago, Jake said that performance offensively would not happen again. Obviously, for you to have a career day like that, what was, going through your mind, or, how much urgency was there today in terms of knowing that it was a winner-go-home situation?
Nothing really changed, I'd say, as far as mindset and the routine. You guys know how baseball is, so today just happened to be my day. These guys always pick me up throughout the year, so I'm just lucky that I was able to pick them up today.
Bradley Smart, D1 Baseball. For Kamayu and Zion, that eighth inning just kind of felt like as guys were getting on base, you guys both obviously had the two big hits in there. What was it sort of like in the dugout? Obviously, you're running out of outs in your season. Can you talk about how you kind of built sort of into that inning and then took advantage?
Yeah, like you said, a lot of things happened before that inning to make it that inning. Jake with a hard ground ball running out. Eddie, who's been hot all playoff, getting a base hit. And then Tay, loop shot, me. And it's funny how baseball is. Everybody's hitting, hard line drives to center, but they're getting caught. But, the little blue pit gets down. So, that was big to add on to the energy, our confidence. We knew Tuck was going out for that last inning, so it was shut down after that.
Mike Retail, College Baseball Central. This is for you, Tucker. You've been starting the last couple times you've made appearances. You come out of the bullpen today. Just kind of talk about the mindset going into the game as well as what was kind of working for you today.
Yeah, Coach Williams told me yesterday at practice they're just a little better against righties and not so much against lefties. So I was fine with it. I trusted him. I trust Eberle. Even though he's a freshman, he's a dog. But the mindset is just whenever I get my name called, go in and give this team a chance to win for these guys next to me.
Noah Darling, College Baseball Central. Kamayu and Zion, your second time seeing Arizona starter Smith Bailey. You saw him opening weekend. What do you remember from that outing, and how is he, without seeing him in between, how has he developed?
Our mindset as an offense is, we play against the thing in between our ears and the baseball. Obviously, we have a scouting report, but our preparation, we're trying to move the ball with two strikes. We're trying to be aggressive, take what the defense gives us. So I wouldn't say it's necessarily we remembered anything like that, but our approach stayed the same.
Kamayu, Tucker, Zion, we appreciate your time. See you guys on Tuesday.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
I'll build off Kamayu. Man, that guy's good. And we've seen back-to-back freshmen. That's a 4-pitch mix. And I don't remember doing damage against them at Globe Life when we played them. I think when we knocked them out, we got to the bullpen. But man, today he was tough, man. I mean, the ability to throw off speed and what you would think is fastball counts, and that's an impressive year for anybody, but especially a freshman.
Mark Garland, College Baseball Central. Coach, defense was really good today. Every time that Arizona tried to take advantage of another base, you guys seem to find a way to get those guys out. Can you speak a little bit about on how well you guys have prepared defensively?
Yeah, pitching and defense gives you a chance, and as we say, it travels. So it felt like all along, we were great up the middle with Alisea and Kamayu, and of course Lucas Moore, and when we got Klein back, the older catcher, but really everybody, I'm so impressed with Tage Davis, his growth from when he got here in the fall, how good he is defensively. Even a guy like Zion, who's been a catcher most of his life and made a decision last summer that he wanted to convert to an outfielder, and he makes a diving catch today. You preach it a lot, and you talk about don't take your bat to the field and all these things that you just pound home in February and March and April, and you hope it sticks. And for those teams that allow it to stick and show their toughness and respect the game, you give yourself a chance. You don't always win, but at least you give yourself a chance.
Noah Bieniek, 11.7, Coach. The other day in a press conference, you mentioned the name Muhammad Ali, heavyweight boxing world champion. Your last two at-bats, this may not have fit the narrative on Friday after the result, unfortunately, but you've totaled 8 runs and 9 hits in the bottom of the 8th today, the top of the 9th against Oregon State. Is there like a simile, a metaphor, a message that you send to the team? You mentioned it in the press, so I was wondering if you use it to the team.
Yeah, we mention it because, we're very fortunate. We come from the city, the same as the greatest, and they're connected to our family. And actually, I hugged Lonnie Ali before I got on the bus. It was pretty freaking cool to hug Lonnie Ali before you get on the bus to come to the stadium. But you really got to give a lot of credit to our support staff. When we talk baseball and we talk about finishing, it's the strength coach Nico, it's the trainer Josh, it's the nutritionist Savannah, it's the mental performance coach Katie, it's our academic coordinator Rachel, and like all the people that we challenge these kids, man. Finish, and don't just run out there in the field and be great for an hour and a half. Finish in the classroom, finish at the end of the semester, finish the day out. And we do, we address it in practice. We call them up late in practice. We talk about the last 3 innings. We talk about extra innings. It's great to say it as a coach, but they're the ones that have to do it. They have to buy in and they have to believe. And so I think it's just a combination of everything. I said, it might not show immediately, but, as we rotate our books, Toughness, Jay Billis is one of the great books, I think, for everybody, not just student athletes, because he makes it clear, toughness is a muscle. You're not born with toughness. Now you might come from a tougher background than others. I might get you might be a little tougher than others, but give me a couple years, and I'd like to think, not me, but the program, I can help you become tougher if you're going to succeed in our program. And so, as a coach, you're just really proud when these kids buy in and take pride, with the Muhammad Ali analogies, but they earned it. That they worked their tail off, and that's why they've showed. And first game of the year, I think we scored 2 in the 9th, and then we won it in extra innings. And so it was good because they saw the fruits early in the season, and so we haven't been perfect this year, but we have played well in the last 3 innings. I appreciate you noticing.
Dan, moving Alex up over here. Moving Alex up in the batting order, what kind of look did you want from that, or what was kind of the goal in kind of mixing up that lineup a little bit?
When you talk about toughness, man, Alisea is such a tough kid. And so as I brag about toughness on Father's Day, let's make sure it really probably starts, with their dads, not taking anything away from moms, but I'm going to love on the dads today. Man, Alex is a tough kid. And he's been playing, his thumb's been bothering him a little bit or a lot. And so we dropped him to 8, 9 the last month or so, just to take some pressure off, eliminate some at-bats. If he gets 4 or 5 less at-bats in a week, just try to keep him going. But he's competed so well and he's looked so good the past few weeks that I thought he was more than capable of doing it. And I really wanted to just give Lucas a chance to, he hasn't been necessarily rolling as he has been at times. So let's let Lucas stand on deck and swing the bat and get loose. And I don't know what kind of coaching I'm doing because Alex swung at the first pitch and hit a fly ball. And I'm just kind of sitting there going, man, the game's fighting us right now. But that's my fault because I don't make Alex take. I just want him to lead off. And usually he sees a bunch of pitches. He didn't in that at-bat. So Lucas Moore takes a heater right down the middle because he don't want to swing at the first pitch. And so it looks like it kind of backfired on me. But I've said it publicly, and I don't say it to put pressure on Alex, and no disrespect to anybody in the ACC, but he's a candidate to lead the league in hits. He's that good. And if we can get him for a full, healthy year next year, he's that good. I mean, he's one of the better hitters on the team.
We'll have time for one more question.
Coach, you seem to have a message for the guys there in the dugout, maybe around the 6th or the 7th inning. The rally kind of came around after that. What was said there, and what was the mindset? Did you think of the team that you thought they needed something right there?
Well, I can bring the Saban out of me, with the best of them. I mean, that's just as a coach my age, that's just who I grew up watching and admiring, the Krzyzewskis and the Sabans and the Parcells and just, and so I definitely have a little bit of old school in me. And I love on the kids. They know I love them. But as I've always said, man, they see my best and they see my worst. And when I'm not happy, they're going to know. But it really didn't faze them as much as I need to kind of just be who I am, the same guy in March, right, on a Tuesday. And I had a lot of frustration in me just from what I was watching. I was waiting for the adjustment to happen. It wasn't happening. So, I just kind of used the groundhog comparison as to what was happening. And as good as we are in the 9th and as good we are in the last 3 innings, we're not waiting. You don't want to live in that world, and we're doing it now. Like, we're making the adjustment now. And there's no guarantee that it works, but I'm just going to be who I am. And sometimes, because you claim you're a Christian and the way you are doesn't act like you're holier than thou and you're perfect and all that. So believe me, there's some words that'll come out of my mouth, and there'll be things like my wife will not be happy that I necessarily say. But the kids know, man, I'm loving on them. And sometimes just a little tough love. Sometimes it's a little kick in the rear. I always say, you put your arm around them sometimes. And sometimes, man, you gotta get them going. But I am blessed because we have a lot of tough kids. You don't have to be from the Midwest, but we got a lot of Midwest and Northeast kids. So, I mean, I don't want to act like my California kids aren't tough and all that stuff. But just be who we are, right? Let's not put up a facade and act differently because we're playing in Omaha. We kind of got to be who we are. And I don't know if we can bust through the door now, but we got their attention. I do believe we got their attention. So we have a good practice tomorrow, and we get ready to play another great opponent on Tuesday. But if there's no more questions, then again, please let me end with Father's Day wishes to all the dads out there. I'm so happy for my kids that they get to spend time with their dads, those that are still around. and a part of this. And, I got to take a picture on the field with my son, Jacob, and Justin, which is going to be one of the all-time highlights of my life. To be on that field taking a picture with your two boys is pretty special. So, I'm blessed.
Well said, Coach. Thanks for joining us. That'll conclude our press conference, and we'll see you on Tuesday.